podcast in my room again.
Hi, I'm Alex Pearson.
I'm Justin Pearson.
And today we have a new guest. I can't say special. We have Carole Sprunk in the house. Carole is a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
She owns Dine Magazine, Edge Magazine, Clout Coffee. She's a director of an insurance company and just wrote a book.
Yeah.
Where do we start with all this?
Do we cover it all? Let's just make sure
Yeah.
we got them all in there. There's not some other one that we didn't know about.
Yoga instructor.
Not that I can talk about yet anyway.
Okay.
Oh.
So there's something else.
Something in the works.
Yeah.
But before we start, we got Four Roses Single Barrel Whiskey, bourbon.
Yep.
And this is a choice of Carole. And why this?
I learned several years ago that this is the
Cheers it up.
Cheers.
gateway.
Cheers it up.
Cheers. This is your gateway bourbon. So when you're trying to get somebody to convert over or become interested in bourbon,
This is the
Four
gateway.
Roses is going to do it for you.
Really?
Yep.
It's just so good that you can't deny it.
Yeah. It's always a good pour.
Oh man,
It's
that's
burning.
Alex took his first drink.
Ooh, it's going
Yeah.
right down the gullet.
I gotta admit, I was just telling these guys right before we started, just the smell grows chest hair for me. I'm not a straight bourbon drinker by any means. That's why I drink something nice and easy like a Coors.
Coors.
But I'm gonna try it. I'm just scared. I'm
What got
nervous.
you into bourbon? Who got you into bourbon?
A mentor of mine
Really?
from years ago. Yeah. And I enjoyed learning about the relationships around bourbon, and it's a great community of people. I mean, if you love it, you love it.
Sure. And where do you go to get your bourbon?
Well, I go to Jack's Liquor in Fremont quite a bit because Mike was actually my very first retail space for my coffee business. So he's in Fremont. Great selection of bourbons at really reasonable prices.
Okay.
And I love going down to Spirit World for bottles. They get in a lot of nice private picks too, and I get along great with Lori.
Okay. I actually didn't
Nice.
make it there. I went to Jack's in Elkhorn. Or not Jack's, Big Dogs.
Oh,
Big
yeah?
dogs.
So still locally owned, but it was closer. It was
Yeah.
convenient.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Four Roses it seems obscure, but is that you have a special connection to Four Roses other than it's a good gateway bourbon?
It's good. I've done coffee in a few Four Roses barrels. So last fall, I did a collaboration with Lori at Spirit World where she did a private barrel pick of Four Roses, and then I did the coffee in the barrel, and then we did a nice coffee Four Roses event at Spirit World.
Sweet.
And then as of yesterday, we just got done roasting what we call the Bitch Wolf barrel,
ooh.
which was a private. If you think this is hot, this is
It's hot.
We're babies over here.
Yeah, I'm a vodka drinker, so
Okay.
yeah.
well. This
Barton's
one,
vodka.
yeah.
If it doesn't come in a plastic container, I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
Nice. Well, you're living upscale
yeah.
today.
Yeah, we are.
I never got out of high school.
Well, so what you're drinking now is 50% alcohol by volume or 100 proof, which would be, I guess, bottled in bond. But the private barrel pick that Jack's Liquor did is 136 proof. So it'd be
Oh.
63%.
And
give or
Holy
take.
cow.
so you're saying you're not interested if you can't light it on fire?
Right, yeah.
Because 100
I
proof,
mean,
you can light 100 proof and higher. You can light it on fire, right? Or
sure,
is it,
yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a hot bourbon for sure. That's
Yeah,
really a
130
COVID killer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man, yeah. You can disinfect many surfaces with 136 proof.
Yeah. So we got the barrel and just did coffee in it, and we just roasted it yesterday. So
Nice.
excited about it because it'll be kind of a limited edition of Clout Coffee. So I've had some cool stickers made that say Bitch Wolf Blend on them.
Nice.
Heck yeah.
That'd
Yeah.
be cool.
So out of that entire barrel, only 90 bottles came from it because
Wow.
it was aged for so long.
How long?
So it like evaporates out of there? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
Or-
it can,
or-
yes.
or like-
it seeps through.
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
just that's the beautiful part about bourbon is every barrel is different, and the time of the year, the temperature, the location of where it's, everything.
It's so.
Do you have the
impacting.
taste buds to actually tell the difference?
Not as much as I want to.
Really?
Yeah.
So let's.
You're not like a sommelier of bourbon.
No.
Okay.
No. I just know I like to drink it.
Yeah. I like to get drunk.
That's good enough for
I
us.
can tell if it's like cheap stuff though, because that stuff is pretty much like awful.
Yeah. Like, is wild turkey considered bad?
Yeah, what's
I'm
considered
not-
bad? We're not here to badmouth businesses. I just don't
Yeah.
know.
I had a really bad experience with Black Velvet
Okay.
a lot of years ago.
Okay.
And that
Haven't
comes
had
in
a drink
it comes
since?
in a plastic bottle. So
Gotcha.
Plastic bottle equals bad news.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
We've all had that
Pretty much.
bad experience liquor that we've
Yeah.
stayed
Yeah.
away from.
Mountain Dew and vodka.
Mike's Hard
College.
Lemonade.
Yeah, screwdrivers. Never again.
So
Yeah.
let's back up to Clout Coffee for the listeners that don't know. We'll start there and kind of break into what it is, how you got started with that business, and go from there.
Yeah. So Clout Coffee just celebrated its 2-year anniversary, and it. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Lil John's with us today
Yeah,
too.
Yes.
yeah. He's our fourth person.
Yes. Well, so we, I wanted to have a private label of something years ago. Like I knew I wanted a product and I wanted to build a brand around it. So, I wanted something that I could be passionate about and really focused on. And I knew I love coffee. Like
Sure.
every day.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
I drink it until it's time to drink bourbon.
All right, time to make the switch. No water needed.
And I was looking at my cup of coffee one morning, and it was a really bad morning, and I was holding it, and I was like, I wish you were bourbon. And then I was like, wait a second, there's got to be bourbon coffee.
Yeah.
Because there's all the other flavors, right?
Right.
So,
Oh, sure.
I mean, I became obsessed at that point, and like the rest is history. We just got done roasting, the 28th barrel in 2 years, but by the end of this year, we will have roasted almost another 40 barrels.
Wow.
For
From
the next few
28
months.
plus 40?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
my gosh.
That's the growth right now.
Oh,
So you got a new facility and employees and everything?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. What's been a lot of fun is now we're getting a lot of high school students needing volunteer hours for National Honor Society. And so
Okay.
I've had 3 high school students so far looking for hours, so bagging coffee and stuff. It's awesome. It's so
heck
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Volunteer work for your business. What a
Yeah.
genius
Yeah,
idea.
I know. I'm like, I got to get more of this.
It's like fireworks stands. Aren't
Yep,
those all volunteer?
Yep. There's a semi-local fireworks stand owner that runs it through.
Benelli or something?
No, it's
Finelli?
you're close.
It's something Italian.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he runs his fireworks stands through volunteer hours,
Yeah.
through organizations.
What a
Yeah.
racket.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Hopefully he's not listening. I doubt he is, but
He probably isn't.
so you've doubled in 1 year or that's over
Yeah.
2 years.
So in the first year that I launched, we roasted our first barrel in July. So through that year, I mean, it was pretty minimal because I was just getting the word out and on building a website and stuff. And then last year I exceeded my goal by like $7,000,
Wow.
which isn't a lot, but it is a lot for me. Like it was
Yeah.
like, wow.
Yeah.
And this year, I mean, will be just phenomenal. But it's
Yeah.
mostly due to the growth on Amazon has been huge.
Is that the only place you can find it, or is it in Hy-Vee, Baker's?
It's in 3 local Hy-Vees, but that has been like an uphill battle. Like until I
Really?
can get in on the corporate side, it's really hard dealing with each individual Hy-Vee on just their side.
Sure.
Because you're somebody they've never heard of. I mean, getting shelf space is difficult. It's
Very
so-
competitive,
Yeah.
I would think. There's a lot of coffee out there. So
Right.
I would think shelf space for coffee is pretty competitive.
Yeah.
But yours is pretty unique. There's
Oh,
not
very
any other
unique.
bourbon coffee.
Right. And that's what I'm trying to explain. I'm like, not only would you be helping like a small business by putting my coffee on your shelf, but it's not like every other coffee either.
Right.
It's barrel aged.
Sure. What was I going to say? So on Amazon, it's just all e-commerce. You put it out to the stores on Amazon, or you're selling it individually?
Individually.
Okay.
Yep.
And did you start this process in your garage? Is it one of those stories?
All things start in a garage.
Yeah, well,
That's what
true,
we're starting to
true.
figure out.
Yeah, well, so when I first started it, I didn't own a coffee roaster, so I contracted a local roaster. I called several locally and finally found one, and I was like, "Would you roast coffee that's been inside of a bourbon barrel?" And he was like, "Sure."
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
So, like for the first year and a half of the business, I didn't own a roaster, and we just purchased it last November. And
Was that like a large, because are you doing like a commercial,
well,
commercial grade roaster?
It roasts 7.5 pounds at a time, so it's still very, very small compared to where I want to be.
Sure.
Okay.
But you got to start somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walk before you run.
Yeah.
So we got a local company, Scooters. Is there a plan to maybe team up with them to? No, just have it. Okay. I thought maybe
That
they
was
could
easy.
they could spread it out faster. I don't know.
No, I don't think there would be any interest there on their side
Okay.
either. So
Yeah. They have their own brand.
yeah,
Yeah.
But they don't have a bourbon brand.
That's true. That's true.
True. Yeah.
Is there?
How'd you name it Clout? Where'd you come up with the name?
I wanted a name that meant power and influence and aggression and confidence. Something very sexy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to Google it before I came here. I'm like, what is clout?
Like, what does Clout, the word mean?
Yeah. So, that's pretty basic, isn't it?
No, Clout's not. It's not
It's
a
not
word
commonly used.
It's not a word used every day. No.
Right.
But you're.
But
30,
read a
and you're
book.
30.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should probably know what clout means.
So what else are you doing to get the word out?
Social media, working on content creation currently behind the scenes that'll kind of come out as months progress. And I just brought on the equivalent of 5 business partners.
Wow.
So in the last week, that's
Like as collaboratives to work with.
Different
Yeah.
backgrounds.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, I added a lot to my team in the last week.
That's awesome. Anybody from your previous companies or just all separate?
All separate, just good friends and people who bring something to the table that I do not bring.
Kind of like an advisory board almost?
Yes, but they're owners.
Okay.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Quickly expanding.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So are you guys is your plan to get a storefront at some point? Like a Scooters or a Starbucks, like a coffee shop?
I would, if I did do that, I would envision something like a Clout Lounge. I love the idea of a membership-only coffee lounge, sort of like a gym for your brain.
Membership
Interesting.
only.
Yeah, I like the idea of having somebody having a proxy card and having 24-hour access to just go in and make a cup of coffee and sit down, read a magazine, read a book, and just relax
Conduct a meeting.
in a membership-only environment. Because think of if you're trying to have a meaningful conversation in a coffee shop right now, how difficult that can be sometimes.
Yeah.
Sure.
But you want a space to go to have. And in this lounge, I envision like lockers so you could keep a nice bottle of bourbon in your locker.
Yeah,
so you
I-
could stop by and
I had a
have
feeling it was going to come back
Yeah.
to
So there literally is
It
no
always
water.
comes
No
back to
water.
bourbon.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what though? That's pretty good with us. We like our alcohol too,
Yeah.
so I can get on board with that.
Well, Jess, it's about noon. Let's put the coffee aside
Yeah.
and start cranking on the booze.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
So
that's sweet.
What would a membership cost? You've thought this out.
I was thinking in the neighborhood of between like $50 and $100 a month.
Okay.
And then if we were doing more, that maybe there would be Clout infused beer on tap.
Okay. Interesting.
We'll see.
Wow, you got some big plans.
Yeah.
Sky's the limit.
But see, I don't want to manage anything like that. I want somebody else to do it.
Right.
Like buy the idea from you, or they just run with your
Run with
business concept.
run with that idea.
Sweet.
Why don't you want to
that
manage
way,
it?
Well, that way she can invent the next business.
Yeah.
So you're
Yeah.
just
Wanna-
ideas
Yeah.
and pass it on.
Serial entrepreneurship comes with ideas and running, and then the next idea. So how are you? Yeah, you only are able to do the next idea if someone else runs the last one.
What else could we see in this coffee bourbon lounge?
Lots of local magazines.
Okay. A massage room. Yeah, it's 3 a.m. in the morning. I'm going to go get a
I'm
massage.
headed to Clout Lounge.
I'm at the Clout Lounge, boys.
I'll meet you there.
We know where that goes.
I hadn't thought that far, but
Yeah.
clearly you've got
Yeah,
different
well,
ideas.
maybe leave the massage out.
Yeah. I like where your headspace is, though.
It's relaxing, you just have the vibe.
Yeah. What about, it could be like, let's take in the other less dirty way.
Well, that's
to,
no fun.
like board games.
Yeah.
Board games, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's way different.
I know. I'm just thinking
Yeah,
like,
okay,
we
fine.
went to this cool place in Chicago. It was called, I don't remember what it was called, but it was, it was something Nook, like the Kettle's Nook or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, it was this cool lounge, kind of like you're describing, local beers and wines, and then books everywhere, but they had tables for board games. And so it's just like super chill and mellow. Local artists like on record player that you could play music like in your space.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a cool place. So
Well, I thought,
I was
like
thinking about that.
book clubs
Yeah.
being there. Yeah, I like the idea of board games being there. Tournaments, like cards and poker tournaments and just
That'd be
getting
fun.
getting people together, not on screen time,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but like in person
Yeah.
for meaningful relationship building
Absolutely.
activities. So this lounge, I mean, sure you could come in and you could hang out on your computer or your phone, but the idea would be to hold something tangible and do something meaningful.
Okay. I like it. So we have magazines on the table. Obviously, Edge and Dine would be there.
Of course.
Let's talk about Edge and Dine a little bit. You started with Edge
Yeah.
magazine, and you purchased that company from somebody, or you started it yourself?
I purchased it from the founder at the end of 2016.
Okay. And what was the reason behind that?
Well, I had a cleaning business years ago that I did just for like side income, and I
Sure.
did that for a lot of years. And so I liked the freedom behind owning my own schedule and doing my own thing. And when I saw that Edge magazine was for sale, and even though I lived 2 hours away, I fell in love with it.
Right.
Because I had come from the newspaper world where you made money off of selling bad news.
Right.
And I didn't like that. Like I don't think you should. I understand a newspaper has a job to do and media has a job to do, but I like to share the good in people.
Right.
So
Heck yeah.
I pursued that for a long time and finally got it, and it's been great. And in fact, October is our 7-year anniversary.
Wow.
But October is also.
I was a little delayed there.
Yeah. No, it's all right.
But okay, you're
It
gonna have
fits.
to have to do that again.
Okay,
here
here we go.
Because October is the 1-year anniversary of Dine.
Yeah.
There we go. No, that's awesome. Were you nervous about buying a company? Especially a print in a digital world.
No, I think print's the best part about that.
Okay. And why do you think that?
Kind of going back to the whole, theme around a Clout Lounge is, I could with your podcast, I could tell your story on Facebook. That would be cool, right?
Right.
But if I printed it in a publication that gets mailed out to a bunch of people, it feels a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I totally know what you mean.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing to see something on Facebook, but even in the a paper
Yeah.
or a magazine, you're
Yeah.
like, that's
Wow.
yeah. You can cut it out.
Yeah.
You can hang it up somewhere. You can put it in a. I don't scrap.
What are you cutting out and putting up? That's what I want to know.
I'm waiting for my thing.
It's for your vision board.
Yeah. But it is like you're saying. It's special. That is it's super cool. Like look at this. I'm featured. I'm on the cover of a magazine.
Right.
Like, that's.
There's something to be said for just having something tangible. My dad, when he reads books, he refuses to use a Kindle.
Right.
He just
No,
likes
I
to
won't
flip
either.
pages and hold it and
Yeah.
Yeah.
look into it. He likes to go to the bookstore and pick it out.
Yep.
And he'll
But
never.
he's old.
He'll never. Yeah, he is old balls.
Yeah.
He'll never change. But
Yeah.
yeah, to your point, there's still people that like that tangible side of reading.
Yeah.
So very cool. How do you determine who gets an edge?
So Edge is direct mailed to homes west of 108th Street in Omaha,
'Kay.
through Valley, north through Bennington, south through Gretna. Home values that are $400,000 and higher, and household income of $200,000 and higher. So
Okay.
we like to
That's
say
why I've
we
never
are
seen
the
Yeah, I did not get one of those.
That's why I haven't seen that in my mailbox.
It's coming.
Yeah.
But now
yeah.
you have a goal,
Yeah.
right? So
I'm like, all right, now I know what they get.
My
Edge
life goal is to
magazine.
get Edge magazine
Yeah.
mailed to my house.
I know
That
I've
means
made
I'm
it.
making it.
I've made it. Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Do you consider west of 108th West Omaha? Because I know that's like the core.
The interstate kind of.
yeah, that's
that what
that's
you're-
where we start.
Yeah.
With demographics. Obviously, like we want to put more magazines out. That's more. I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's better for our advertisers because more copies going out, so their image is getting put in front of more people.
Sure.
But it's affluent West Omaha lifestyle.
Right.
Is that it's a lifestyle magazine? Is that what you call it? Okay.
Yeah, so we always feature a home that's for sale in West Omaha that's generally at least in the $1 million and up range.
Ooh.
And
Plenty of those. Yeah. Yeah.
There are plenty of
yeah,
those.
there's a lot
yeah.
out there.
And we always feature a restaurant and a cocktail and a featured business. And one of my favorite things is the youth column, which we started after I bought the magazine, because telling kids stories is so important, and you never know when you're going to make that one impression on a child's life that that propels them forward in so many ways. And so we feature a female and a male athlete in West Omaha called it's our Varsity Corner section, and then we have our youth section where we feature all other children with exemplary academics, volunteer work, just a variety of things.
Do people apply for that? Like, how do you find those kids, or is it?
Generally,
You
word,
wouldn't be
word
on the
of
list.
mouth.
I know. I'm not. I would. God.
Wait, volunteer and scholarly?
Yeah.
Not in your wheelhouse.
I was fairly scholarly in high school. I graduated
you
with a
cheated.
3.8. I cheated through two classes. Shakespeare, pre-calc.
Shakespeare.
Huh. Yep.
I don't think I
There's
had
a
that.
reason I had to cheat, because I just could not focus. It wasn't my thing.
Okay.
Neither was pre-calc.
Yeah.
My
Fair
teacher
enough.
knew it too.
I didn't
Yeah.
follow Shakespeare.
I didn't either.
No, it wasn't.
It's hard to comprehend.
No, I know. That's just it. Like I'm like, I read at like a grade, a preschool level, but Shakespeare,
Yeah. Art thou, that type of stuff. Yeah.
Way too many words.
you just
Right.
said 2 words. Art thou?
I couldn't think of what else
Yeah,
it says
yeah.
because I quit reading it.
Yeah.
But so yeah, back to the stories. How do people submit these in?
Sometimes,
for the kids?
yeah. It's word of mouth. Like our August feature is a little lady who's got D&D's like frozen specialty cakes, and it stands for daddy and daughter. And what's so awesome about that is that the dad wanted to spend more time with his daughter. So they started making frozen ice cream cakes together.
That's awesome.
That's really cute.
Yeah, I mean, you can't
That's a feel.
how
Yeah.
awesome is that? And
Yeah.
that story could be told on Facebook. That's great. But telling it in print gives that girl just more credibility.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope she goes on to make ice cream cakes all over the entire world.
That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw the one on the Boys Town football
Yeah.
player.
Yes.
Yeah, that was cool. I mean, especially a kid going to Boys Town too, who's been through a lot probably to be in Boys Town. So he has that to hang on to.
Absolutely. You can always change your path.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How do you get these business stories, the restaurant, the cocktail of the month?
Usually suggestions, or a lot of times it's advertising partnerships. So
Okay.
advertisers in Dine or Edge, and like what makes sense for the time of the year. And I mean, just a lot of things go into it because, in the December issue, we'll want a nice holiday cocktail, and who can do that and who can pull it off and look good. And
Sure.
just present well.
Okay.
So so kind of off topic, but on topic. Is there a vetting process? So the reason I ask that, like, do you get presented with weird stories that people want to feature, or weird people that are like, hey,
Yeah.
put me in your magazine, here's why. Are you the vetter? Are you like, nah,
Sorry,
So
Johnny.
My managing editor, Kathy Rigg, is amazing, and like
I've met
she,
Kathy.
yeah, she went to school for magazine journalism, so it's how perfect is that? But she and I are like great sounding boards, and does this make sense? And when it comes to the youth section, I want to feature the kids that are consistent, because you volunteered last week. Isn't
Right.
I mean, it's awesome
Yeah.
start.
Sure.
But I want to showcase the kids that really are passionate about something.
Sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I serve food down at
Sierra Francis
Sierra
house
Francis
last
house,
week.
yeah.
Put me in your magazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
And you'd be surprised. There are people that, and that's awesome, but a lot goes into putting a magazine out and a lot of cost. So you really want to make sure the whole magazine flows really well.
Sure.
What is the weirdest thing that someone's like, weirdest thing?
I would just say press releases that you get from out of state on random
stuff.
Yeah, and it's like, it's not local. It's not like, what would be the point? And
Yeah.
first of all, we're not a press release.
This is not the place to break news.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that probably is the weirdest thing to me, but
Is there a particular story that sticks out?
that I enjoy.
No, that's
Or,
weird.
Yeah.
We haven't.
It's like,
we
what
don't-
is
we
this?
don't run any weird stories.
No, but someone wanted to put in there.
I think, so, and I don't even remember what the product was. I think it was some kind of water bottle product or something. Somebody sent a press release for a product that was being built in New York City or something. I'm like,
You're like, what?
yeah, no.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is random.
So if you got a restaurant and drinks and Edge, Dine is just restaurants, featured food.
Just for the food and beverage industry. So because Edge is published 6 times a year, we never felt like we could give enough credit to the food and beverage scene in Omaha. I mean, there's so much going on. You can have every kind of food, and not just mediocre, but like really good.
Like
Omaha's
Romeo's.
awesome. Yeah.
We got to throw Romeo some love again.
Hey, Romeo's.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alex and I.
They're
tell
never
her-
going to
tell
get
her
featured.
why we love your Romeos.
I mean, we grew up on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, we grew up on it. But
Cheese dip?
I think of snow days. I think of Romeo.
Yeah,
I
snow
think of
days.
snow days. Our mom used to take us to Romeo's for lunch.
Yeah,
So
correct.
And ever since then, it just kind of stayed with us, despite our spouses hating it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you guys get to go together.
We should go more together.
Yeah,
You guys
we
should
don't.
do a podcast at Romeo's on a snow
That'd be
day.
funny. Just slurping some pre-made margaritas.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't imagine Romeo's making it in Dine magazine.
No.
But
no.
yeah, so you started that a year ago, you said.
Mm-hmm.
And how often does that one get published?
Quarterly.
Okay.
But we're featuring not just like the food on the plate, but how did it get there too? So we have some amazing suppliers around here, and some are not just in Omaha. You have mushroom farms and cheese from Lincoln. And I mean, there's just suppliers from all over that are helping these chefs put just magic on your plate.
Right. That's fascinating. I think there's a place, 216th and Blondo. All they produce is like the cilantro for Hy-Vee.
Really?
Like that's all they do. And
Really?
they just crush it. They have a couple greenhouses, maybe 3 or 4.
And it's
Really?
just
And
cilantro.
Just cilantro.
That's
Man,
amazing.
That's it. That's
Just-
all they grow.
Like, you think they just eat crazy amounts of salsa?
Right.
Probably.
I
I'm
just-
sick of it.
I need some pico. Not here. No.
Yeah.
not
Nope,
here.
we don't have that.
No, yeah. I is it me when I was doing some research on Dine, it seemed like there's a small focus on CBD. Is that no? No CBD? Okay.
No. But like, so there's expert opinions. There's
Okay.
we do a scene story. So like what's going on locally. That's been an interesting challenge over the last 8 months is to figure out what the scene is.
Okay.
But just going deeper, you know, the
Right.
experiences of food, the actual plating of it, the education behind it. So Metro Community College is a huge sponsor of ours. And, you know, we can attribute a lot of our local talent to the education component that is local as well.
Okay. Are you in the place to say what your favorite restaurant is?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Uh-oh.
How much do you say would you eat out? Let's ask that. Would you?
Because
eat-
everyone probably hooks you up.
Yeah,
for
you probably
getting
get
in the
crazy
magazine.
good hookups.
You would
You
hope.
should.
You would hope.
You should get crazy good hookups.
You would hope.
It's like, hey, all, I'm Carole Sprunk.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put it on the house tonight.
the
yeah.
VIP tab.
Yeah.
I need to make that. I would say I would probably do more like happy hours than I do eating
Yeah.
out, just like business meetings.
Sure.
And one of my favorite spots to land at is West End
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
because
I've been there.
it's just so comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's near my house. It's
Sure.
you know, it's not just like a sports bar, so
I was
I like it.
surprised they served food there. I didn't think
and
they
it's
did.
good food.
See, I've never eaten there. I had a couple drinks. Aaron and I went to there. I think it was on a date night or something, and just had a happy hour drink.
Sure.
But I was like, they serve food. I just was not the kind of place I thought would serve food.
think
So
have
you
some-
need to have the clothesline bacon.
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
yeah.
Clothesline
You
bacon.
can't go.
Yeah.
It's bacon and pickles.
That's
Oh,
what
gosh.
it is. Yep.
You cannot go wrong.
Yeah.
I think Aaron be in.
She's all in on that.
Yeah.
Pickles is her favorite food.
Yeah,
Pickles.
these are homemade pickles. So I'm actually going to be there tonight. So that's why it's like top of mind. So, yeah.
But you don't have a favorite restaurant that you would like dinner. Like last night in Omaha, you're gonna move to LA. I gotta eat at this
Drover.
restaurant before we leave.
I'd probably go to Jams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong there.
No, because they've got everything.
I haven't
Like,
been there in a while.
Oh, I love their meatloaf.
The meatloaf.
Yeah,
Haven't had it.
it's good.
Yeah.
The meatloaf.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had their meatloaf. They have good salads,
Yeah,
honestly,
that
and that's
coconut chicken or
Oh.
something. Yeah.
so good. And that's weird. I know it's weird coming from me.
Oh, I pushed the wrong one.
I'm
You
not
want a
like a big
salad?
salad guy, but like that is a place for salads. I don't know.
What happened to you?
I don't know.
What happened to you?
You know, we booked a trip to Tucson. I'm thinking about my Tucson body. I'm
Yeah.
all into
Vino
salad
and salads.
for the last 2 days.
Yeah.
God, what a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to trade cups here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're the missus.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Oh, you had Mr. and
Yeah,
Mrs.
I
Cups.
coordinated.
We're coordinated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah, we should. Yeah. Dang it.
So when you go to a happy hour, are you disciplined enough to leave after a couple drinks?
Yes.
I am not.
I would assume that if you go to a lot of happy hours, you have to be disciplined, because otherwise,
Yeah.
you're Alex. It's like
Or
calling
you're
Annie,
my brother,
You're
yeah.
calling Annie at 8:00.
Adrian.
I'll be here for maybe 2 more, then I'll be home. 2 in the morning
2 in the
comes.
morning. Yep.
Yeah.
Go for one, stay till 1.
Yeah.
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 I
That's all.
said one. I didn't know if I was talking about the
Yeah.
time or the.
Well, you got kids, don't you? You got
Yeah.
2 or 3?
Well, technically 4. I got 3 and a bonus kid. So
Nice.
my oldest is my husband's son, who became a bonus kid when we got married, but he just graduated high school.
Nice. Congrats.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
It is, and I got 3 more. I got to get through school.
What's
And-
his next move? Is he going to college somewhere?
I don't know that he's 100% sure.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
limbo a little bit. Doesn't
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
I
was
still
there.
don't know what I want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got plenty going on.
yeah,
That's for sure.
No kidding. Yeah, I was in the same boat. Like I went to school for accounting, and I'm a firefighter.
You did?
I started accounting. That's how like when you
doing
go
accounting.
Yeah.
when you go to college, a lot of times you're just like, I'm going to college because I'm supposed to.
Yeah.
And that's where I was, and I liked accounting in high school. I did well at accounting, but when I started taking business classes, you went through
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
It was horrible. I hated it, and I started exploring other options, i.e. firefighting. It just led down the firefighting path.
How long have you been a firefighter?
About 10 and a half years.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
that's
it.
cool.
It's a great job, and I wouldn't trade it.
Yep. He's a captain as of a couple of years ago.
Yeah, it's been 2.5 years.
Yep.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of a big deal.
Not really.
Maybe
Alex
not.
Alex
It
tries
is.
to make it a big deal, but it's not.
It is a big deal.
I think
I'm
so.
downplaying it because if the guys at work hear me, be like, "Oh, he thinks he's a
Oh, he
big
thinks
deal."
he's
Oh,
cool shit, huh? All right.
No,
Yeah.
it's an honor to be a captain. I will say that. I've really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. And your husband's a police officer,
Yes.
so thank him for that.
Yeah.
For 23 years.
Yeah.
And how does he feel about everything going on right now?
I think he's happy with his transition to being a police officer at the airport.
Okay. Yeah.
So he hasn't had to
Because-
deal with
right.
a lot of other things.
Right,
yeah.
because and I dispatched law enforcement for 6 years. So, I mean, my
Carol, what didn't you
Oh
do?
my, yeah.
Seriously.
I feel like we are still in the outside layer of the onion.
Yeah.
And we just
Keep
I'm
peeling
trying
back.
to peel layers, but we're getting deep here.
Yeah.
So my grandpa was the sheriff in Polk County who hired my husband when I was in high school.
Huh.
So like I was
Doing
like
some
trying
math
to
here.
hide
Yeah.
from I was trying to hide from him in high school
Yeah.
because like we had partying to do. We didn't
Right.
need the cops around, right?
Exactly.
So, all he did was like rain on my parade in high school. But
Yeah, right. He was buying you the booze.
Yeah.
He's buying you the booze.
Yeah.
I had other buyers for that.
Yeah. I didn't need him.
Yeah. But so I've been in law enforcement like my whole life. I remember my grandpa talking about things when I was a kid, and right after high school, I was, I don't know, several months after, and I started dispatching at the same law enforcement center that my grandpa spent several years working at.
So was that Polk County dispatching? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's where, I mean, we got closer and eventually got married, but I dispatched on and off at different agencies for 6 years. So I used to, I remember like our biggest fire call was out of Shelby, and I answered the 911 call, and he's like, yeah, I got some hay bales on fire. If you'll just send the fire department, no big deal. 7.5 hours later, $1 million lost in hay.
Whoa.
That's a big hay pile.
13 fire departments I had to call out from different counties.
Wow.
So it was a long night.
Yes.
But I'm like, he lost a lot of hay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of
Burns-
alarm fire would that,
That burns for a long time.
Yeah, it kept going.
Yeah, and well, when you get into like rural operations, a lot of what you're doing is just water. Like
Yeah.
you're just trying to bring water.
Yeah.
Bring in the garden
But you're
hoses,
trying-
boys.
And you're trying not to stir up all the cattle and everything.
Oh
So,
yeah,
Yeah. it
because all
was-
that hay's there to feed animals typically.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a few years ago, we had a giant hay fire on a horse ranch, and we were there for hours on end, and it was exhausting. It was like middle of summer, 95 degrees, there all night. But the homeowners are so nice. They bought us 2 rounds of food.
Yeah.
Jimmy John's, and then later in the night, Burger King. It was
Yeah.
awesome. They were
Nice.
so nice, so appreciative that we were there. But
That good Midwestern value there.
it was.
Yes.
They were just so appreciative, even though we were destroying everything. I mean, just because you had to.
There goes our
Right.
barn. Here's a
Yeah,
Jimmy John's
yeah.
sandwich. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah. Well, we saved we lost the barn with most of the hay in it, but we saved everything else.
Right.
So they were appreciative. But it took hours to put all that hay out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
eventually it took front end loaders. I mean, that's what the difference
Yep.
was, separating all that hay out to put water on it, because it
Sure.
would just burn forever.
Yeah.
It's like a tire fire where
Yep.
you're there all week.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So
Yeah, no. So I mean, it's all the things you see, and they're stuck in your brain. You don't get that out, and so I'm happy that he still gets to do that area of work, but you're not dealing with like taking kids out of homes.
Sure.
Or the really bad side of it. He doesn't have
Yeah.
to work like fatality accidents and
Right.
things. So
Well, down at the airport, it's probably pretty quiet right now with
Yeah.
nobody traveling.
it's picking back up.
Yeah.
Is it?
Like I
Oh, yeah.
remember him talking about like, yeah, there was like 2 flights today.
Holy cow.
that doubled
Yeah.
yesterday.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
No.
we booked our flight to Tucson. I mean, round trip, me and Aaron to Tucson, Arizona with the layover was like $340.
So I was
for both
just
of us.
That's looking
insane.
at flights to North Carolina. They're $81 one way.
It's
I'm
just so
like-
cheap.
I'm like, all of a sudden I want to go to North Carolina.
I know,
Yeah,
like,
right?
I've never been there, but man, do I want to
Yeah,
go because
I'm
I can
like,
afford it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People will be going like Idaho.
Well, that's
okay, so what do I do now?
These flights are so cheap. You're like, I just want to go somewhere. But you're like, if I get there, what can I actually do?
Right.
Like, can I experience North Carolina the way that it's meant to be experienced?
But if you're hanging out on the beach,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
that's
certainly
true.
go experience
If the beaches
that.
are open. So, yeah, that you're right. If things are open and, obviously the ocean. But
Where's one destination you'd want to be stuck in the United States?
Just stuck for like how long?
Let's say a month. 1 month, one place you could go.
assuming your family could be there with you,
Yeah.
you're not away from your family.
Well, I want to go to North Carolina.
Okay, all right, we got
So
that.
I've wanted to do that for a long time, and that's what had me just like randomly looking at flights, and I was like, I think we're gonna go.
Like the Smoky Mountain areas?
No, by the ocean.
Okay.
Like I want to go to Outer Banks.
Got it.
I
don't
think
know where it is.
I think I want to. It's just like this little island strip. That
Off the
is-
coast.
Yeah, and I've never been there, but I think I would love the East Coast. I've been to Florida, I've been to Washington D.C., so now I need to go in between. Like
Fair enough.
I would stay there for a month. I've never been, and I'm pretty sure I'd be happy there.
Fair enough. I would. I'd like to go to Washington D.C. Probably for like a week. See all the history.
Where would you go for a month? Where would you be stuck?
Oh, you know this place called Grand Island. You ever been there? No.
They have
Man.
some great cornfields.
That's a good question.
I go to like Breckenridge.
Somewhere in Colorado.
Yeah,
probably.
Colorado.
Would you?
Because you can just
Yeah.
do something.
Mountains. Yeah.
Well, we've done it. Growing up, we did a ton of vacations in Colorado,
Yeah.
like winter and summer, and so,
Yeah.
we still go there a lot. We
There's
took
just
our
something
boys there this
refreshing
summer.
about being there.
Oh man, it's just there's this ton. You go up one hiking trail and there's 1,000 others you can do.
Yeah.
You know, the next day and the next day and the next day. And
Yeah.
so I just feel like there's just so much scenery and the air. I don't know, it's just so fresh.
So fresh. So
So
clean.
my sister is in Greeley,
Okay.
and I think we're going out over Labor Day weekend. But I told her I'm like, all I want to do is spend the entire weekend like in the mountain in the kayak, like because that's all they're doing every weekend is they're just heading to the mountains and going on little adventures. And I'm like, I need that for a couple days.
Yeah.
So yeah, and
Some
I love
R&R.
going. Yeah, and I love going to visit her. Like you said, the air is different. The shopping is different. The food is different. Everything is so good out there.
Yeah. COVID has really made people realize how special the outdoors are.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of
Oh, yeah.
people took everything for granted.
Hiking, yeah, fishing rods are all gone everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I went in Bike Masters right by our house.
Mm-hmm.
I needed a new rear tire for my son's bike, and they were almost sold
Mm-hmm.
out of kids' tires. And I was like, kids' tires? He's like, we've never gone through kids' tires like this. He's like, just kids are outside
Skidding
doing stuff.
around.
Yeah, skidding around corners and stuff, and it's forced people to get outdoors and do, because you just can't be inside all the time, but you can't go anywhere.
Right.
So just go do something.
So my youngest two all got brand new bikes and we tried to do like outdoor toys for like Easter gifts,
Sure.
And they both got brand new bikes this year. We replaced 2 tires on each bike in like a 2-week period of time because they were doing that whole skidding
Skid.
thing
Yep.
or whatever. But my husband came back one day and he goes, I waited in line for 45 minutes.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh.
I was like,
That's insane.
so every other kid must be out riding their bike.
Justin's kid just wears out his shoes.
Yeah, he had a Strider bike. This is our youngest, a little Strider bike, no pedals. So his shoes are his brakes. Man, we were going through shoes about one pair a week, maybe one every other week.
Wow.
Just puts his toes down and drags
toes
them.
down. But man, he had it to a science. Like
He is fast.
he would be hauling down, and he's 3. He'd be hauling down a hill, and Aaron and I are we're nervous,
Yep.
but we've seen him stop so many times that we don't say anything, and he just knows the exact pressure to push his shoes into the ground that he stops just right on time. And it just, for a 3-year-old, it's kind of like impressive to watch again and
Yeah.
again. But we always make him wear a helmet because
Yeah.
he's 3 and he just flies. But he's on the pedals now. He's pedaling.
He's graduated.
He graduated pedals as a 3-year-old, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
the Strider bike. He had the balance down as a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
It was just teaching him to pedal after he had the balance. That was weird.
That's cool.
Usually it's the other way around.
Right.
Carole, let's talk about seed money. New book, new life. What inspired you to write a book?
I've wanted to write a book for a few years and never really knew like entirely what direction. I just like when you set your goals at the end of the year, you have some, like you dream big. I'm a big dreamer.
Sure.
And I always said I'm going to write a book and never like knew what that was going to be about. And at the end of last year, 2019 was just probably one of my hardest years yet because Clout was still startup and it was growing and I was trying to grow it as much as I could, but I was also dealing with starting a magazine and the resources it takes to do that. Sure. And the team it takes to do that, and still trying to hustle the insurance job. And it was a really interesting year. And at the end of the year, I said, okay, I'm gonna write a book, and this is what it's gonna be about. That was the inspiration for the whole thing. And I found a book writing program through the Creators Institute. A professor at Georgetown University runs this program, and it's basically like an accountability program. But I'm going to write about using resources as much as you can to fund your startups. And basically, I want to inspire people who say they don't have the money to do what they want to do. That's just an excuse.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. You actually can do it, because we all get 24 hours a day.
Sure. Yep.
So you can do anything you put your mind to. Just be strategic about it, and so that's, I talk about my adverse childhood in the first part of the book, and then my 20s, which was working multiple jobs and raising kids and everything, and then getting my shit together in my 30s and saying I want more than just a paycheck.
Yeah.
And I got to figure that out because I didn't have anybody to just give it to me. I didn't have that handout. I had to work for my seed money.
Right.
And I'm still doing that. So I tell people I'm in progress here. This is not like I'm not claim to fame success here, but I'm sharing my journey as of right now, and I'll write a book later about what happens with actual seed money.
That's very cool. How do you find time to write a book between everything that you're doing?
Yeah, that seems...
'Cause-
your time management must be incredible.
And you had to experience writer's block at some point or several times throughout
still
this.
Still do, yeah. But that's where this program has been so helpful, because you have that accountability every week. And it's really easy to put down 1,000 words on paper. You'd be shocked. You got to get to 25,000 words to have a manuscript rough draft. Yeah, okay. And that's not hard.
25,000.
And that's not hard to do. It really isn't. And I actually used an app for part of it, where you just talk and it records your words, and then you go in and edit and stuff. But I think telling the story of your childhood is easy. The part that's still a huge struggle for me is that third part about growing businesses, and I think what they refer to it as is imposter syndrome, where you're afraid to tell people what they should do to be successful, because you still don't feel like you've quite accomplished all those goals. But I'm I don't know that I'll ever feel like I am worthy of. I don't know. It's a little weird.
You feel like a fraud.
Yeah.
There's times where I still feel that way as a captain on the fire department. Don't.
I'll hold out on that.
But yeah, imposter syndrome.
It didn't fit. I just want to use it.
You just want to use that button. No, you feel imposter syndrome. You feel like a fraud. You feel like people are going to see through who the real you is, but the real you is the one that belongs there. You just don't feel it. Mm-hmm. And at times I feel the same thing, like people are going to see through me to this other person that doesn't belong in this spot.
Right.
And it's part of the thing that still drives me, really, on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
I think people's biggest fear in general is being judged. You know what I mean? That's what it comes down to, is what are people going to think about me? And at the end of the day, people just need to be more confident because everybody's kind of in the same boat. You have a few outliers. I mean, you have the Mark Cubans and the people that made it big, but
I keep emailing him, by the way, and he hasn't returned my emails.
no, keep waiting.
Well, the Mavericks just started playing again. He's
Yeah.
been busy watching.
Would you email him?
Well, I wanted some praise lines for my book, and I wanted some quotes about just being diversified because the bigger part of this book is having a portfolio mindset.
Yep.
Being diversified in your revenue streams. Like I get a lot of flack from people like, well, how is it that you can do insurance and be in the coffee industry and be in the magazine industry and
Time management.
And I'm like, how can you not have multiple things going on? Because, and I use the phrase all the time, if you were a manufacturer of cassette tapes, I'm sorry, but you don't have a job anymore. So if you were not diversified and you did not look for areas of improvement and diversification, you were done.
Yeah, no, I agree. Sorry, I was just
Finishing
calling
up.
over the bottle.
Just
But you
remember,
don't have
that's
any
100
ice
proof.
right now.
What's that?
You don't have any ice. You gotta just drink
There's
it
more
right out
ice
of the
in
bottle.
here.
I'm sweating. This stuff's putting a hole in my chest.
That's getting the toxins out of your body.
Ooh.
Is it, or is it adding more?
But you're right. It's like a venture capitalist. You're just
Yeah.
super diversified, you know. But on your end, you're starting businesses. You're
Yeah.
living out your dreams, kind of. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
it seems like to me, anyway.
Well, and you know what's funny is my English teacher from high school just sponsored my book campaign, which meant a lot to me because she was a huge inspiration as a child. And she asked me, "Did you think in high school you were going to write a book?" And I'm like, "No, not at all.
Not unless there was
was
pictures in it.
Yeah, I didn't read the ones I was assigned. So, but it's crazy to see how far you can come, and if my book can be a source of inspiration to anybody,
Absolutely.
that's huge for me. Like that's all I want it to do is inspire people.
So 25,000 words, how many pages does that equate to?
Depends because at the end of each,
I'm just thinking if I'm able to read it or not. No.
Yeah, Alex
Like-
falls asleep after about 3 pages usually
I've
of any book.
I've gotten a lot better. I can't read horizontal. If I'm laying down, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I can't read in a car. It makes me sick.
really?
Looking down.
Yeah.
Aaron's like that. She
Yeah.
can't. She has a hard time reading off her phone in the car.
Yeah.
She has to look up, turn the
Yep.
AC on. Yeah.
Yep. Nope. Same. No, I'm going to put little cups of clout at the end of each chapter, section, whatever. And
Okay.
little quotes and stuff. And it's going to
Grab
be
some
fun.
coffee. Yeah, awesome.
So it's not done yet.
No,
okay.
I
Okay.
just going through first manuscript revisions right now, and I still have a ton of stuff to add. And what's really awesome is as of today, I'm at 74% of my pre-launch campaign goal,
Yeah.
which is phenomenal. I have over 60 backers, and it's a good feeling to see people support you before you even have something out.
Right.
They just believe in your vision.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And you.
yeah, so that part is humbling, but it's also making me want to make the book better because I'm like, wow, this my old teacher's gonna read this.
I don't want to let these people down.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So it's definitely encouraging. I respect this process so much, and it's hard constantly even going back and reminding people hey, hello, sponsor my book.
Yeah.
Help me reach my goal. I feel like I'm knocking doors again for Girl Scouts.
Yeah,
Or
exactly.
jump rope for heart.
Heck yeah.
That's why you'll write a second book. Your first one you're never going to think is good enough. I don't think.
Right.
Knowing your personality. It's like me in anything really. I set a goal out this year to what?
It's because you're not good enough.
True.
Keep going.
To be a bogey golfer.
Uh-huh.
And, I had my best round last week, and I was kind of bummed out. And my wife's like, why are you bummed out? That was your best round. And I'm like, yeah, but I feel like I could have done better. I screwed the last 3 holes, but there's always that, next level if you have that personality.
That's I think the personality of an entrepreneur is you're
Never
always,
satisfied.
Yeah, and that's That's a curse too.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
don't like it.
Curse and a blessing. Curse and a
Yeah.
blessing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing that drives you is the same thing that drives you crazy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Good point.
No, 100%.
Book quote. Boom.
Boom. Put it in
Yes,
there.
There we go.
So
I'll put it from the podcast, the brother side.
The brother side.
you didn't come here for inspirational quotes, but you got some.
How are you balancing life with your kids? You know, with all this shit going on.
What is the family
Yeah.
business dynamic?
She's like, what kids?
Actually, I try to bring them along with me to stuff. So just this week I had Rotary, and I took my youngest son with me to Rotary.
I'm a fellow Rotarian.
Are you?
I'm in Westo.
Are you?
official just recently.
Well, I've been in it for
No, but you got officially.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
of COVID, it backed everything up.
Yeah.
You need to. So when you miss a meeting, you need to make it up at ours.
Which Rotary are
We're
you in?
Omaha night, so we meet the first, third, and fifth Tuesday of the month from 5:30 to 6:30 at Vincenzo's.
Okay.
So I was president last year, so we just handed that off, and Gretchen's our president this year. She's amazing.
Congrats,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gretchen. What's her last name?
Bren.
Okay.
So
We have a Gretchen in ours. Radler.
Yeah.
So
So I love the group because it's a selfless way to do something for your community, and you're meeting other people that have the same, you're putting yourself around people with similar mindsets. So I love Rotary, and I take my kids as often as I can to things that I can take them, because I want them to see that I'm not just missing dinner tonight because of something fun. It's fun, but
Mom's not
happy
party-
hours fun,
Yeah.
Carol.
Right.
Come on.
Mom's just not
It is,
partying.
Yes, and sometimes maybe mom is partying, but like we're doing things too. And they're down at the roaster a lot, and they're seeing us bag coffee, and I'm like, well, keep working because this is what pays for college.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Are
So-
you kind of a networking guru?
I
feel like I see you in networking.
Yes, I like
spheres a lot.
I like to go networking, but lately it's especially with COVID, like you had so much taken off of your plate right away. And so you can actually be strategic about what you add back.
Mm-hmm.
And while networking is important, like you have to think of like the best use of your time
Mm-hmm.
and where your business is at and where it's going and what you need. And so I like to do some networking functions. I love seeing people that haven't seen in a while, catching up, but it doesn't generally like impact my business the way that maybe it used to. So I think you network, like your reasons for networking change as
Sure.
you change within your business.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
There-
I think like Omaha's like the biggest small town. So I
It
love
is.
like you can bump into people at the grocery store, and
Especially West Omaha.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you see people that you at least recognize all the time.
Yeah.
Yep. What networking groups are you in outside of Rotary?
We've got a breakfast club that I'm in that's not related to anything. It was just sort of like formed by accident, but a lot of really, really awesome people. In fact, today they just nominated me as our president.
Heyo.
Yeah, well, it was like one more thing
Yeah.
Yeah.
given to me. But yeah, nothing. I don't think like I'm not part
That's your
of.
main one. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. Like, I like where I'm at.
Nice. So we have a few minutes left here. Carol, give us a hint on the next thing. What's the next thing? You said there's maybe something, but you can't say.
Yes.
Give us a
Well,
little something.
I could, like, I've talked to a lot of people about it. My goal is to have Edge magazine and Dine magazine all over the country, in every
Wow.
city that I could possibly have it in. I want it to be a national publication. And with that, I want to create an organization for publishers by publishers. And I want to unite everybody that has niche magazines, and because we're all storytellers at the end of the day. And I don't feel like there's something that I could belong to and be part of that celebrates what I do
Sure.
as much as I want or what I'm looking for. So I'm like, I think I just have to create that.
So what's it going to take to make that happen?
the right people. Like I am a huge fan of teamwork. I would never say that I've gotten to where I am all because of my own efforts, because it's 100% not true. I have the best team of people around me in everything I do. And so finding the right team that has that same vision that says, yes, let's put magazines all around the country. Let's celebrate the people doing that. Let's tell those stories through print. And then let's bring a national conference to Omaha to highlight all of it annually.
That'd be sweet.
Yes, and it's not anything one person can tackle.
No.
So I need the right advisory board. I need a team of people, because I've got the idea in place, right? And I don't know how to 100% do that by myself. So I wanted to have that done this year.
What's a big
But the COVID.
the COVID? Gotcha.
That and the people. Like I just don't know who else can help me do that. Like who else can help me form an organization?
What's the biggest magazine in Omaha? Is there
Omaha Magazine?
Omaha Magazine?
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
it?
No, and it's and I mean I've actually never met Todd Lemke. I would love to, because
Todd, if you're listening, Carole needs to meet you.
yeah,
Hook it up,
I wanna
Todd.
meet
Come on,
you.
Todd.
I wanted to, like, he started that magazine over 30 years ago. That's tremendous.
It seems like you would know somebody who could get you in contact with him.
Oh, I'm
It's
sure.
not
I'm
Justin.
sure.
It's not
No,
me.
it's not me. Yeah. I don't
Actually,
know
I
anybody.
really want to talk to Warren Buffett. So if anybody can make that happen,
Warren, I hear you're listening.
Yeah. I think actually I did hear that Warren's a big listener of the Other Side podcast. Yeah.
He was
I
our
heard
first
that.
listener. Yeah. Yeah.
He's our financier.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
So, okay. So blowing up the magazine, and then what's the next thing for Clout? Like what's the next level? Just keep growing naturally and
Lounge.
organically?
Yeah.
Well,
Clout Lounge.
if that, but on Amazon, or how do you blow that up bigger?
So to kind of keep going where we're at, but we've started, like, not just bourbon barrel aged, but rye and whiskey and rum. So to really put the wheels on that, because like we roasted our first rum barrel recently and it's delicious, but no one can buy it because I don't even have it listed for sale anywhere. So I'm like the only one drinking rum barrel aged coffee. But
Well, if you want to give away any samples.
yeah, you'll have to
Hey.
come by.
Yeah.
But there's a brewery out in Hastings that has put the coffee in their blonde ale beer, and it's very good. But I'm exploring, what does it take to get it as a cold brew in a can and a nitro cold brew, and then not just creating that, but distribution. So I'm trying to figure out, what revenue do we need to bring in order to be able to launch cold brew
That
in a
level.
can.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a whole, like, different, monster to tackle, but I'll get it.
Last question. How do you focus
Yeah, no
on
kidding.
each business? Like, I would be all over the place. I'd be like, all right, we got to do this. We got to do this. Oh, wait, back to this.
Is it like
So,
3 hours on
calendar.
Edge, 3 hours on Clout, 3 hours on Dime?
I wish it were like that, but things pop up, and so I think
the
they're
hamster's
just-
always moving.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it's also like, if you need to send an email to somebody, do it now. Like, I'm like the biggest multitasker, and I shouldn't be. I feel like I half-ass a lot of stuff, but
Welcome to my life.
Fair enough.
Just half-assing my head off.
Yeah.
but if you do it like twice as many hours as everybody,
Sure, you'll make it up. Yeah, that's true.
Eventually, you'll full ass something.
yes. Yeah, get the whole ass in
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on, Carole. Thanks
has.
for
It's been a
Yeah.
lot of fun. Thank you.
Yes. thank
giving
you.
us this 4-season
Are we
single barrel whiskey.
Yes.
It's still
Cheersing
burning.
again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yes,
hasn't
cheers.
got any better,
Cheers to
but
the-
I'll keep drinking it.
Yeah.
Look for Carole's new book, Seed Money, coming out hopefully towards the end of this year or next
December.
year.
Publishes
December.
December.
Awesome.
Awesome. Thanks again, Carole. This
Thank
is the
you.
Brother Side Podcast. See ya.
See ya.